everyone, and welcome to lesson 34.2. Today's lesson is not from the book, but it is found linked in Google Classroom, or feel free to take your own notes. We're going to talk about the volume of prisms and cylinders. The volume of a prism is found by taking the area of the base for whatever kind of prism it is and multiplying it then by the height of the prism, which again is considered the distance between your two bases, not to be confused with the height of when you're trying to find, for instance, the area of the base, which is base times height. You should always calculate that area of the base and then remember what your height is of the overall figure and plug it back into the formula. So it is always a good idea to draw a picture of your base so that you can remember what you're actually finding the area of two-dimensional figure-wise. So for instance, this first one is an example of a rectangular prism. And if it is a rectangular prism, our base here is a rectangle. And in this rectangle, we have side lengths that are 15 and 7. So the area of this base is going to be found by taking 15 times 7, which is 105 square units. Okay. And then the overall height of our figure, the distance between our two rectangular bases, is 12. Okay. So our overall volume, area of the base, times the height, we're going to take 105 times 12 for a total of 1,260. And volume is always going to be units cubed for that. In our next example, we have a triangular prism. So our base is consisting of two triangles, right? So if we're looking for the area of this triangle, notice it is a right triangle with side lengths of 6 and 8, right? 6 and 8. And then this last one we see is actually also given just down below, 10. Okay, you could always use Pythagorean theorem as well to find that, but they gave it to us, it's 10. So in order to find the area of the base, this time we're looking for the area of a triangle, in particular a right triangle, which is found by taking 1/2 of base times height. So in our triangle, the base and the height are 6 and 8. So half of 6 times 8 is 24 units, right? Square units for that matter. And then the overall height of the prism this time is 4. So last but not least, for the volume, area of the base times the height. Area of the base, the triangle was 24. Overall height is 4 units. 24 times 4, 96 cubic inches. Now, sometimes we are going to want to work backwards, right? We see here that we have given to us the volume of a prism of an equilateral triangle base is 187.2. If the area of the triangle is 23.4, what is the height? So this time they gave us the volume. They gave us the area of the base. We are looking for h. So what we're going to do is we're going to substitute in the volume and the area of the base and solve backwards to get our height. So from here, we would need to get h by itself using division. Divide the 187.2 by 23.4. We get our height to be 8 centimeters. All right, we also can find the area of, the volume of our cylinders. And again, that is going to be found by taking the area of the base times the height, aka since its base is a circle, we would always use pi r squared times h, okay? So this is kind of a nice shortcut because the area of the base is always a circle. We plug that in, pi r squared h is how we're going to find this volume, okay? So notice here they're giving us that our radius is 12. We are being given that our height is 30. Volume is pi times the radius squared times h. So pi times 12 squared times h see what our approximated value is. Pi times r squared times h is a total of about 13,571.7. Very large volume of math. The next example has a cylindrical pitcher that has a 11 inches tall and a diameter of 8. So to pause for a second, if they're giving us the diameter, we need to convert it to our radius, and then again, they're giving us the height is that it's 11 inches tall. Now this one we have to be careful because it says to the nearest tenth. We want to find the volume of the pitcher when it is only half full. So think about the volume is pi r squared h, but we only want half of it, so we're going to take that value and eventually divide it by 2. So in this case, pi times the radius squared times the height is going to be then divided by 2. So pi times the radius squared times the height is 552, but again, we only want half of it because we drink half of it. So 276.5, and again, always units cubed for volume. Last but not least, we are given the volume and we want to work backwards to find the height. So notice the volume here is 1767, right? And we're looking for the height. So what we're going to do here is plug in pi and look at our picture to find here that our radius was 7.5 squared, and then our height here is x, or you could call it h. So as we start breaking this down, we want to start by simplifying what is pi times 7.5 squared. The approximated value of that is about 176.7. And then to get our height by itself, we will have to divide 176.7 on both sides. So 1767 divided by 176.7, we get a total of 10 as our height. Oops. Which again was just called x in this particular problem. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. Congrats on finishing activity 34.